the most generous sex between the male sex and the female sex are the men. Okay, the most generous group. I know young boys. I know a boy who sold his PlayStation to take care of his girlfriend's little ones and needs. Okay, it was her birthday coming up, and he went and sold his PlayStation. And you know how much boys love games. I have seen men go to war over protect the country, women and children. I've watched the Titanic when women and children had to leave first, sacrifice. I've seen the interview when men who have been married over 50 years old, the people in the relationship were their age was over 50 years old. They were being asked, um, if something happened and one of you had to go, who would you rather, you or your husband? Women, 99.9% answered, I'd rather he goes and I can stay around, because they saw themselves as better to stay around than they go. And men, in the majority of those questions, said, I don't mind to go. That's generosity. That's love right there. We live in a transactional society where it tells you if he's not doing this for you, then don't leave him. If he's not doing this for you. So your generosity is what they're after. Your sense of desire to produce and give is what they're after. I wonder how many men are in genuine reciprocal relationships. I'm not saying they don't exist. I'm not saying there aren't men, there aren't women out there who give to their men. But for the majority of the time, a lot of the majority of women are identifying men that they'll give something to for the purpose of, okay, I'll give him this much and he's going to give me a whole lot of that. Like an example, a girl would say, I reached out to him, I gave him this, well, I bought for dinner, and then he married me, and now I have this wonderful life. The value exchange you can see there. So it's a strategic giving. A lot of men I've seen boys. I'm around a lot of boys. I'm around a lot of youth. I give talks around that. Our group, online group, has got 109 individuals, males, and I've seen that the generosity of men is just innate, but a lot of females operate on entitlement and a desire to attain something. So, of the generosity, who is more giving? It's men. Sure, some women have found themselves in a situation where they doing all the house chores and everything else. But for the majority, I've seen guys sacrificing and going, giving up the most essence. You know what essence is? Time at work. When you're doing something that you hate, grinding your wheels just to provide for family and home. And sometimes that's not reciprocated. That's generosity. So in light of that, I think that it's no longer the argumentation of who's the most generous sex. It's just men should engage in relationships where there's some reciprocity, because they do exist to some extent. It's just the majority of people these days is purely almost transactional. And females make it clear, if you don't meet this condition, if you're not there, I don't want you. It's a sad day to be alive in these days, but as the most generous sex, give to yourself. Of course, if a woman comes along that's worthy of, go ahead. But I say give to yourself, because you're gonna go far further than if you start to give the opposite sex, because they're never satisfied, really. Peace, love, and blessings.